behind my back. And then he gives me this bullshit story that when he was doing his thing, it was only with men, not with women. But where the fuck I come from, and everybody else that I talk to about this situation, they all tell me that, one, if he agreed to the open relationship, I don't need anybody's fucking permission to do anything. And that doesn't go for me. That goes for everybody that's open relationships. Then he gives me this cockamamie fucking bullshit story to suffice what he just said, that we were supposed to screen men together. First of all, number one, in the whole 8 years we were together, and he was whoring around and still is whoring around on Grindr and Tinder and every fucking dating app he can be on, because narcissists need constant supply of attention, whether they get it from men, women, whatever. They're like the fucking Smurf that, that looks in the mirror, vanity, and, oh, I'm so good. All he cares about is his fucking self and his fucking needs. That's a fucking narcissist. So basically, moves me out really far to where I have to leave a job, does all these fucking things behind my back, and even did it when we were living in an apartment together. So this shit's been going on for years. Tells me I'm not allowed to have slaves, makes me dismiss my other slaves, and why I do this all because I love this person. But actually, it's kind of an interesting story. This past 10 months, Mistress decided that, once he said I was in an open relationship with him, I decided to find myself a little fuck toy. And rightly fucking so. He's going around fucking and sucking people. Why can't I if I'm in an open relationship? So I go and do my thing. His cocksucker fucking neighbor across the street fucking tells on me. First of all, I was a personal trainer also, so I had other clients this day, and it just so happens this was a time he was going to Florida because his mom was ill and was, passing away or whatever. You know what? It's a shitty timing, but you know what? When my father died, Cupcake had his boyfriend at the house and then had him the day after. Had no fucking empathy for me whatsoever. So why should I have empathy for him? Correct? Okay? Just fucking came out that way. Touche. Que sera, sera. You don't fucking like it, then you shouldn't fucking do it to people. So basically, alright, the last chain of events, I'm not going to talk about this anymore, but the last chain of events was this photographer person who I had mentored had always told me, Mistress, I'm friends with you and him too. Like, he was Spanish, so I'm making fun of him, sorry. He goes, I'm friends with both of you and you're my mentor. And so he was at the house the last weekend I lived there. Him and his buddy over there were going to some fucking bike bullshit, right? So, or whatever the fuck they were doing. Who knows? They could have been fucking each other for all the fuck I know. And so then they leave, they come back. I make dinner because we have company, blah, blah, blah. That night, this person leaves to go to a strip club because this guy's got fucking problems. He has to have constant attention from women. He's a narcissist. He told me in what's-his-face that he had a girlfriend, and then he told her he didn't want to be exclusive with her, and she wants nothing to do with him. So me and what's-his-face are like, well, why would you tell her that? Like, are you fucking retarded? He's like, well, dude, I want to be with other women and blah, 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 Fucking typical fucking pig, if you ask me. This is why he goes from woman to woman. It's kind of funny. Him and Cupcake kind of have the same mentality. Cupcake bounces from guy to guy, can't stay with one guy, is cheating on the guy he's got now for like 10 years, and cheated on me with guys, so what should be any fucking different? Daniel's the same thing. Again, Daniel's a narcissist. And I don't care, Daniel, if you're fucking listening to me. So anyway, this person I knew, so that Sunday, not this Sunday, the Sunday before, almost 2 Sundays ago now, this person came back to the house kind of drunk, and assaulted me in the house him and I lived in, my ex and I lived in. And I knew this person, and he basically came in, he was drunk, he was yelling at me in the backyard that how dare I do what I did to what's his face. And I said, listen, you don't know the full fucking story. He only tells you his version, okay? So I actually went up in my room and took a little couple of pages out of my blackmail folder and showed it to this individual, and his fucking eyes bulge out of his head. So now, after with that being said, he then finds out that his friend has been lying to him, okay? And we all know who this friend is. This is the friend that I left, so put it that way. So to make a long story short, I was sexually assaulted. This individual grabbed me. He hugged me to apologize to me and then molested me. And then it kind of happens really fast. And honestly, if I talk about it, I'm probably going to get upset and cry because it's very upsetting to me. I fucking knew this person, and this person took advantage of me. He told me I had a big fat ass and that he couldn't believe what's-his-face dumped me or we broke up or whatever. And before that, he was yelling. Look, I posted it on social media, so for those who want to see it, go and look at it. But bottom line here is I'm having this person arrested for assault. And the other person who I talk about, there's a good possibility he could be getting arrested too, because the detective that I've been speaking to has been telling me that she believes he's involved, especially with some of the latest evidence I had showed her. So, I mean, look, I'm okay about it now. I actually been talking to a therapist, if you must know. Yes, Mistress sees a therapist. And the therapist told Mistress that it is not my fault, that this person took advantage of me and assaulted me in the very house I fucking lived in. So, I hope you're fucking listening to my show because time is coming for you, motherfucker. And the both of you are fucking complete assholes. And I want nothing to do with either one of you. Nobody is going to tell me what I can and can't do in my life anymore. I'm fucking done with that bullshit. So you know what? You've been fucking replaced. My new slave is totally submissive, does whatever the fuck I tell him to without hesitation. And guess what? Who cares? He's a crossdresser, but guess what? He's straight. So he'll never cheat on me with men or women. So guess what? You've been fucking replaced. This is a very emotional show for me, but you know what? I have to do it because, one, my therapist said that I should never not do anything for myself. And she believes that me continuing to do my radio show gives my listeners an insight to my personal life, which I don't normally share, but sometimes I do, to let you all know that whether you're a dom or a sub, if you're in a relationship with your mistress or master or slave or submissive, and you find out that they are not what they seem to be, stop and don't invest any time in the relationship. It's not worth it. It's never going to change. Believe me, I know. All of my slaves, Paula and my old sub, Bella, they all told me throughout the years that Cupcake was never submissive. So, you know what? I found out, and yes, I'm glad he is fucking gone from my life. I'm glad that I don't have to fucking put up with him and his bullshit any longer. I'm glad that he's not cursing and screaming at me and threatening me and threatening to call the cops on me. It's funny, in the end, he called the cops on me a few times. In the end, he tried to get a stay-away order against me, and the police told him no, because I had 2 prior orders against him. So, basically, it's kind of funny. And I have to apologize for my behavior earlier on the show. But listen, I feel better letting it out. And it doesn't matter who you are, how big, how strong you are. Your friends who know you the most are the worst offenders, okay? The police told me that It wasn't my fault that he assaulted me. He obviously can't control himself too. The detective said he sounds like a narcissist. And due to the fact that my ex sided with him, and my ex-sub, mind you, sided with him, and then accused me of wanting to be assaulted and raped. Where I even have this motherfucker on audio video. I recorded him. So you know what? Listen, that to me sounds like he's involved. And all my friends and family and even my new slave said he's involved. So you know what? I hope you're fucking listening to the show. But anyway, I don't want to talk about him anymore. He's disgusting. He's fucking ruined 8 years of my life. But anyway, Mistress is 143 pounds now. So I guess leaving that situation relieved me of a ton of stress, and I lost 25 pounds in a week. Okay? So Mistress doesn't get the apartment. Mistress is dealing with all this shit with being assaulted and having a very terrible ending to the relationship with, fuckface. And basically starting my life over. So actually, I'm pleased to announce I actually got a job yesterday, a few days a week at one of my other professions. I won't say what profession it is. And I also got new housing. So this is why I'm doing a pre-recorded show for this Friday, for tonight, because later on I'm going to be moving again. But it's actually an interesting story. When I first moved here, or left that situation and started my new life, I actually had to, I was homeless for a few days, and I still am, and it's kind of an interesting story. But tonight, I move into my new place. I'm only homeless until today. So I left on Friday. I had all my shit in my slave's car. I went to my family. Now, there's a reason why I can't stay with my family. My mother's house is very congested, and my kids live there. So, and my sister and her kids live there, and her husband. So it's like a crazy house. And, I kind of need my own space. I can't really, live in a crowded environment like that. So, and my, family had said, well, if you need to, you can stay. So actually what I've been doing is, I had temporarily rented a room last Friday night at this place, I'm not going to say where, and it was kind of an interesting story. I found it on Facebook Marketplace, right? And, sorry, I was taking a sip of coffee. Facebook Marketplace, and the guy and his wife said, oh, you can have the room, blah, blah, blah. It was $750 plus a $200 deposit. So, I give them the money, I move right in. Then it was a weird situation. The next day, they come to me. Now, mind you, they didn't speak any fucking English, these people. They were Colombian. And I actually had to use a translator to speak to them, which was really fucking bizarre. In my life, I've never had to have somebody speak into Google Translate so I could see what the fuck they're talking about. So it was kind of an interesting experience. So I use Google Translate. I speak to them, and I tell them that, oh no, they tell me that they want me to pretend that I'm a nanny for their children. And I said, well, why? Why do you need me to say that? And they were like, well, actually we're subletting to you. This is not my house. And I find this after I move in there. So, okay, I gave it a chance or whatever because I figured, I need to do something, right? So I did that. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, I was actually living in there. And then Monday, I had gone over to my mom's house, which, was like 2 towns over or whatever, or something like that. I had a couple of job interviews, so she was going to help me out and take me around. While I am at the job interviews, now listen to this. I hooked up the camera, the same very camera that I had in the house when I lived with, what's his face? What's her name? What's his face? I don't know. It doesn't matter. I hooked it up because these people wouldn't let me put a lock on my door. So I thought there was something fishy about that. So anyway, Sunday night I set up the camera. And Monday I'm with my family, like I said. And my phone is going off like crazy. And it says my Wise Cam has got some activities. So I'm like, all right. I check it out. I see my fucking landlord in my room, the guy. Hold on, Mistress was lighting a cigarette. So, I'm like, what the fuck is this guy doing in my room? So I'm looking at the camera. He goes in my room and he shuts the fans off. Now, mind you, this fucking house was a basement and they had no air conditioning. And literally, I felt like I lived in fucking